Langley Falls, Virginia. Home of a CIA agent with anger issues, a horny talking goldfish with an existential crisis, and a teenager who thinks he's changing the world, and an alien who has lived more lives than all the people on this planet combined. We rank key American Dad characters by their aura. One character on this list has had over 100 different identities, has committed crimes on at least 6 continents, has manipulated, seduced, destroyed, and rebuilt entire lives just for her own amusement. By the end, you'll understand why this is the most powerful flex in the history of animation. Let's get started. The biological hazard tier. 0 aura, 0 meaning. Principal Brian Lewis, principal of Pearly Bailey High School.
Hey Steve, I'm just telling a few people. I'm making belt buckles now if you want to buy one. Check it out. He's got red eyes from smoking weed.
Responsible for the education and protection of children. Let's run through this quickly. Lewis drinks beer during school hours, urinates on the school basketball court, not after school, not at night, while the kids are there. Has a restraining order for sexually harassing the art teacher. He once set a mob of students on Steve and his friends, attacked Steve with a coffee pot, knocked objects out of students' hands, harassed female staff members, took students to illegal gambling, locked them in a car for hours, and offered the children for killing. I'll repeat that. He offered children for killing.
They only fired 87. I knew there was one left.
Why, Rain Kid?
Never touch a fat boy's candy.
But it goes even farther. Lewis found a bookie who bets on absolutely anything. And Lewis, the principal, bets on when a female student will get her period, and whether preschoolers stay within the lines when coloring. When a little girl named Susie colored outside the lines, Lewis called her a damn piece of shit in front of her parents. The child cried. Lewis didn't hesitate for a second. Then he poisoned school children through this cafeteria food, so he could sell sawdust from his failed Christmas tree business. So the school could mop up the vomit. He hired youths from the juvenile detention center as playground monitors to help him with it. At a parents' party, he urinated on a cake, then stripped naked.
Who wants to see me pee on this cake?
There are indications that Lewis is in the witness protection program, which means somewhere out there, there's a version of Lewis who was so bad that the state decided, we'd better hide this man as a principal. He's beyond F. He's beyond everything. No animal system was built for this man. Lewis has poisoned children, urinated at parties, and is still a principal. The only thing more irresponsible would be to not subscribe to this channel. Do the right thing. Jeff Fischer exists and masturbates constantly when he's not smoking weed. That's really the nicest thing I could say about him. He appears in the series as Hayley's boyfriend, then as her husband. And in both roles, his main contribution was being in the same room as Hayley. That's it. That's the entire character.
When it comes to your finances, Jeff's worthless.
Jeff, why are you dancing around to a song about you being a mooch?
That song was about me?
Jeff is the only person in the world whose doctor prescribed him marijuana. Not for pain, not for anxiety, but so he'd stop fiddling with himself. The man lived in the Smith's garage, not as a guest, not temporarily, but by his own choice. Stan Smith, a man whose job is to waterboard people, was ashamed of Jeff. Let that sink in. The best of the CIA, a man with a history of secret killings, he looked at Jeff Fischer and thought, no, this is beneath us. Jeff was once abducted by Roger's alien family and floated through space for a while, and somehow came back just as useless as before. 0 personal development, 0 aura. The universe literally took him on a cosmic journey and spat him back out unchanged. That's not character growth, that's a round trip to insignificance. F tier, the garage misses you, Jeff. D tier, technically present. Klaus Heißler, a German Olympic ski jumper whose brain was transplanted into a goldfish's body by the CIA. Because Klaus Heißler isn't just a talking goldfish, Klaus Heißler is a war crime committed by the CIA in 1986. Which, objectively speaking, is one of the most tragic backstories in the history of animation.
Life is not worth living.
Klaus, no, it's not worth it!
Suffer for your crime!
The CIA swapped his brainwaves with those of a goldfish, right in the middle of the Olympic Games. Klaus's human body, now with the brain of a goldfish, instinctively follows the nearest stream, and was later found frozen by the CIA. Well, more like left to decay. This isn't a backstory. It's a UN investigation report in serial format. The man, the fish, the thing, spends most of his existence pining for Francine Smith from a glass tank on the kitchen counter. In every episode, without exception. Klaus watches Francine like a man peering through a fogged-up window at a five-star brothel for 17 years from a fishbowl. That's not longing, that's a mental disorder with a potato salad stuck between the gills.
Yeah, now I know why they say, once you've been black, there's no going back.
Roger once asked him why he ate Francine's potato salad. Klaus replied, "I'm German. That's just how we do it." That explains everything and nothing at the same time. He certainly has his moments. Occasionally, Klaus temporarily takes on a human body and immediately makes every conceivable wrong decision. But charisma? You can't command a room when you yourself are the decorative centerpiece of the room. A goldfish bowl doesn't exude dominance. It exudes, "Please don't forget to feed me." D tier, water march. Klaus has been waiting 17 years for someone to notice him. Don't be like Klaus. Subscribe now. Don't make me wait 17 years. C tier, the frustrated middle. Hayley Smith. Hayley Smith is going to be furious about this ranking, which ironically is exactly why she's here.
Your side is always wrong.
Ow!
Haha, can't get me.
Hayley is the living embodiment of someone who has all the conviction in the world. Not a single morning where she actually sticks to that conviction. She's protested against everything: climate change, corporate greed, government surveillance, the neighbor's leaf blower, the manufacturer of the leaf blower, and the manufacturers of the leaf blower's individual parts, probably even the concept of leaves itself.
I hate you. You make me sick.
Hayley has a cause every morning and a disappointment every evening. Because here's the detail that sums up her entire life's work. Hayley once went to a refugee camp, voluntarily, out of conviction, as an advocate for the oppressed. And as soon as she discovered the luxurious buffet at the nearby UN resort, she switched sides. Faster than I change my shorts. From the refugee camp to the all-inclusive buffet because the water was better. That's hypocrisy with a 5-course meal and a dessert section. And then there's her vegetarianism. Hayley is a vegetarian for ethical reasons, out of the deepest conviction, except when she's hungry or tired or this meat smells good. In those cases, she eats meat, without hesitation, without explanation, and with the tact understanding that we'll all pretend we didn't see that.
Toilet. I know you've been a vegetarian as long as I have.
Oh, enough. Be honest. It was delicious coming up, wasn't it, Hayley?
What? No! I am a committed vegetarian.
Wasn't it, Hayley?
Fine. It was delicious.
And you know what? When my girlfriend is hungry, the rules don't apply to her either. No ethics, no love, no convictions, just food. Hayley Smith is my girlfriend. I just realized that. It scares me. That decision alone costs Hayley 2 entire rankings. Aura requires judgment. Aura requires self-confidence. Hayley has as much judgment as Principal Brian has for looking after the kids. None. The thing is, though, when Hayley actually gets involved, when she commits and stops putting on a show, there are brief glimpses of something real. She's smart, she's sharp, she can destroy Stan in a debate with surgical precision. But then she reverts to Greta Thunberg mode, shield up, megaphone out, emotion repressed. The aura crumbles just like Greta herself. When someone asks how she got to New York, by sailboat of course, the camera crew flew business class. How dare you? C tier, the revolution is not supported. B tier, real aura, wrong execution. Steve Smith is what happens when the universe gives someone all the ingredients for greatness, and that person uses them to impress girls who don't know he exists.
And what did your mom say?
Nothing. She just walked out of the room.
This is bad. This is real bad.
Let's start with the facts. Steve graduated from Arizona State University by answering a single question in a science class. He was valedictorian. He received a PhD for his commencement speech. And 5 Bud Ice. That's not an educational journey, that's a speed run with beer.
Is this what you want? Are you happy now?
The guy is objectively a genius, and yet Steve Smith has dedicated his emotional capacity to the pursuit of female attention from girls who, without exception, are completely out of his league. And this is where the real problem begins. Steve doesn't have a normal love life. Steve has a documentary.
There was something fishy about all this, Legman.
No, I'm not playing with that bonkers.
You know what? It's not so bad being the bearer of bad news.
Or the sharer of new shoes.
You're fired.
Woo! Episode 1, Lisa Silver, cheerleader. One went out with him to exploit his power as student body president. When she confessed the truth, Stan had her entire family deported. That was Steve's first relationship. Episode 2, Steve is sent to summer camp by his own father, which turns out to be a refugee camp in Africa. There he meets Makiva, a connection forms, feelings develop, then Makiva is kidnapped. Steve rescues her and Makiva falls in love with her kidnapper. That's statistically impossible, and yet, that's just Steve. Episode 3, Shannon, member of an abstinence group. Stan tries to break them up because he doesn't want to talk to Steve about sex. When they're caught holding hands, Stan sends Steve to therapy for sexual aversion. Until Steve starts throwing up at the mere sight of a girl. And Stan realizes that the other dads in this group are real psychopaths who are dating their own daughters. Just that thought alone ruins my day, guys. So he locks Steve and Shannon in a broom closet and guards the door with a sword. Against other dads with swords, you get the picture. Salami party and all that. That's American Dad's version of a romantic evening.
Come on, Stan. Everybody's getting freaky out here.
Enough of this. Shannon, your dad's a creep.
Yeah.
And then, in season 12's Witch of Langley, Steve steals a spellbook from Roger, finds the cure for cancer in it. He used the book for high school drama, just like that, because he wants to learn blood magic for personal revenge campaigns. He turns a school bully into a zombie slave and makes him feed him. Yesterday's bully, today's spoon. But there's one thing that sets Steve apart from everyone else on this list: the genuine enthusiasm. The moments when he and Stan talk to each other like real people, before Stan inevitably ruins it by mentioning Reagan. Steve once had his own father beat up his childhood bully, Stelio Kontos, because Stan had taken advantage of him too often. That's not weakness, that's delayed precision. And his best quality, he now knows he's a geek. He's accepted it. Dungeons and Dragons, Star Trek, three friends who are just as lost as he is. That's not a failure, and that's why he's B tier. Mr. CIA Stan Smith. CIA agent, proud American, owner of weapons he's personally named, who waterboarded a suspect and then felt moderately bad about it for about 11 minutes.
How do I get to meet that centerfold?
No, I just said that to motivate you so you'd carry me to the top.
Dad, I can't believe you lied to me.
Really? Huh, that's kind of my whole bit.
Okay, what Stan Smith basically is, Stan has absolutely no qualms about kidnapping someone, drugging them, attacking them with a stun gun, even family members. If he sees it as a means to an end, in the pilot episode he kidnapped Hilary Duff.
Oh my God. Dad, why is Hilary Duff in our house?
Hillary is here of her own free will because she wants to have dinner with Steve.
Hillary, could you pass the salt?
Pass him the salt.
The actress, the singer, Hilary Duff. He kidnapped her and then just waited. His plan, hold her long enough for Stockholm Syndrome to set in and for her to find Steve cute of her own free will. That was his introduction to the series. Not his low point, his introduction. Stan is so xenophobic that he hates French toast, because it has French in the name. He immediately labeled his new Iranian neighbors Bob and Linda Mamari as terrorists, even though they were demonstrably the most harmless people in the entire neighborhood. He once drove all his neighbors away because they didn't like him. Not because they'd done anything, because they didn't like him.
Holy Ayatollah!
Hi, we're your neighbors, Stan and Francine Smith. We came to invite you to our block party.
Oh, terrific. Bob and Linda Mamari. We'd love to come.
Well, maybe some other time. Ah!
Stan worships Ronald Reagan with a fervor that makes even hardened North Koreans look like skeptical casual viewers when they see their leader Kim Jong-un. He chose a dog because that dog lived during Reagan's presidency. He wrote George Bush a letter, which resembled a love letter.
Smartest person I know. I mean, I've always respected you, even when you were drinking and doing all that coke.
Oh, Stan, thank you.
Oh, God. Oh, not you, Francine. God, no. No, I was talking to the photo of George W. Bush.
He drugged Hayley to lure her through a trapdoor into a pit so she couldn't reveal her true feelings to Bush. He drugged his own daughter because of George Bush. Stan believes his wife should stay home, run the household, only leave the house when accompanied, cook, and do everything he says without arguing. He shaved Hayley's head because they dye her hair for a Green Party rally.
Whoa, nice dome. You're almost as ugly as Roger.
I'm not ugly.
Am I?
How dare you?
How dare I? How dare I? I'm sorry, I was at the shooting range this morning and I lifted my earplugs. Did you say how dare I?
He cried once, just before he almost shot Roger. Steve pointed this out to him. Stan replied immediately, "I'm not a lady," and almost shot Roger anyway. And now the detail that sums it all up. In Season 6, White Rice, we learned that Stan erased Francine's memory for 20 years. Every bad thing he'd ever done, gone.
What year is it?
Duh, 1985. Hey, anybody got some gum? I want to get the taste of roadie out of my mouth.
Including the moment when he didn't vaccinate both twins, and one of them just died. He made his wife forget that she'd had a child for 20 years, and was genuinely confused afterward as to why empathy should be a relevant skill. That's not a mistake, that's an operation, and Stan is simultaneously the agent, the mastermind, and the only victim who doesn't know it. Here's the paradox: this man who kidnaps, drugs, erases, controls, loves his family with an intensity that is simply inexplicable. When Bullocks insulted him as a boss, Stan nearly beat him to death. For Hayley, the daughter whose hair he had shaved off himself. Stan Smith isn't evil. Stan Smith is a man who sincerely believes that everything he does is the right thing. That doesn't make him any more likable. It makes him the most dangerous character in a normalized suburban sitcom. Because monsters know their monsters are recognizable. Stan Smith smiles at you, offers you a beer, and has already decided what will happen to you if you become a problem. Closely dangerous to A, the memory wipe is the only thing holding him back. That and everything else, I am no lady. B tier. We're about to leave the world of the inexplainable and subscribe before we get there. Stan would want it. He has a file on you anyway. A tier. Underestimated dominance. Francine Smith. Let's talk about the most dangerous person in the Smith household.
Come on! Damn!
Open the door, you son of a bitch!
Francine Smith looks like a cheerful housewife from a 1950s commercial. She bakes, she smiles, she hosts dinner parties, she is relentlessly friendly in a way that should be investigated by the authorities. And what lies behind all of this? Francine Smith is wild. This woman grew up an orphan, was raised by Chinese immigrant parents who literally left her behind at the airport, was adopted by a wealthy family who treated her like a decorative piece, and emerged from it all with a smile that could stop traffic and a tolerance for threats that is completely beyond the human scale. Francine has drawn a gun on multiple occasions, outwitted men twice her size, talked her way out of situations that would have ended most careers. Once she went wild in the woods, completely. Francine Smith cut herself off from civilization and became something the forest feared. And then she came home and cooked pasta for everyone. That's charisma. Not the loud kind, the kind that doesn't announce itself, the kind you only notice once it's already too late to leave the room.
Wait, what's the emergency fund?
So I take $50 from your wallet every week.
For?
Drugs.
What?
Drugs, okay?
Stan thinks he's in charge of the house. Francine lets him believe that. That decision alone is more powerful than anything Stan has ever done with a government-issued firearm. A tier. The household functions because she allows it to.
So help me God, I will cut your pretty faces.
So, tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
S tier, the wild card. One character on this list has two modes. One is harmless, the other is something entirely different. Barry Robinson, Steve's obese best friend, from the Netherlands, speaks fluent Klingon and Elvish, and loves Miss Piggy from the Muppets.
Huh? Barry, where's Francine?
Someplace she can't get between us and...
At first glance, Barry is Steve's best friend. Chubby, cheerful, slow, the kind of kid who laughs at everything and seems confused by most things. Barry works like a hand grenade with a smiley face sticker. As long as no one pulls the pin, cute. Relaxed, he calls his psychiatric meds antipsychotic vitamins. And then, Barry stops taking his vitamins, and the entire series spins on its own axis. Because without his medication, Barry Robinson is not a slow, cheerful boy. Barry Robinson, without his medication, is one of the most dangerous beings in Langley Falls.
Hey!
Robinson, you're getting out. Pack it up.
Don't tell me what to do!
This job's the worst!
Cold, calculating, strategic. He speaks in complete sentences without a single superfluous word. He has plans within plans. He has contingency plans for his contingency plans. He looked at Steve, his supposed best friend, and began a long-term psychological operation aimed at isolating him, manipulating him, and then destroying him. And when Francine starts getting between him and Stan, Barry buries her alive, in a coffin in the garden. Not out of anger, out of boredom. That's the detail that makes him who he is. Barry isn't a villain because something went wrong. Barry's a villain because that's exactly what he is when the chemical suppression wears off. The medication doesn't treat an illness. The medication keeps a predator at bay and dresses him in a Bart Simpson t-shirt. Remember that every time you see Barry laughing at something that wasn't even funny, he knows exactly what he's doing.
Thanks for driving me home, Mr. Smith. We're going faster than people.
Quiet, fatty, fatty!
S tier, the most dangerous character on this list that nobody talks about. Roger Smith, God tier. Let's start with the facts. Roger Smith is an alien, gray, big black eyes, 1,601 years old, estimated life expectancy 9,000 more years. He describes himself as a fairy-like pansexual alcohol-dependent non-human being. That was his own self-description, in a casual conversation, without being asked. Roger came to Earth supposedly to collect a hepatitis sample. Instead, he found an I Love the 80s marathon on TV and stayed for over 1,000 years. Later, he found a note in his own spaceship. It said, the ship was a test model. Roger was the crash test dummy. His own species had abandoned him on Earth. Probably as revenge because Roger had betrayed Emperor Zing in his youth.
You wouldn't kill me. You love me too much.
Roger was left behind on a foreign planet by his own race as a punishment. And his reaction? He opened a bar in the attic and started collecting costumes and decided, okay, then I'll make this my thing. That's not a defeat. That's the most laid-back reaction to cosmic failure in the history of animation. Now, about what Roger did during this time on Earth, he adopted foster children to use them as slave labor on his own vineyard. He became a dictator of a Caribbean island and had it painted yellow. The entire island, yellow, because he wanted to. He killed 5 people for $20 and mentioned in passing that he'd kill 6 more for $19.
$20 in cash or... Hey! Thanks for the rides! I treated them with nothing but respect and civility, and they want to stiff me? You don't mess with a man's dream.
That means Roger personally caused a price drop in contract killings. He had Francine run over by a wrecking ball to get her a steak. When Klaus asked if Francine was dead, Roger showed no reaction whatsoever. He ate his own father when he was 15, and he keeps still parts of his father's leg, as a memento. Now about his physiology, Roger could survive in the vacuum of space, breathe underwater, his skin and limbs were completely removed, he survived. His skin is fireproof, his blood is violet, sometimes yellow, sometimes red, he has no bones, he consists entirely of cartilage. He could swallow an entire banana without gagging, he is a gifted drummer because he has no bones in his arms. His pancreas, after its removal, turned into a vicious monster. His remaining organs regenerated on their own. Roger can only be killed by decapitation. That is the only weakness of a 1,601-year-old boneless, fireproof, pansexual, alcoholic alien who lives in the attic of a suburban family's home. And now the detail that sums it all up. Roger once tried to kill the entire Smith family because they insulted him at a comedy roast.
You guys thought I tried to kill you? Hilarious! It's so therapeutic to laugh.
In response, he caused a gas leak that led to an explosion, he hired a hitman, he removed the brakes from Stan's car, and he sent Merlin Olsen death threats for 7 years because Father Murphy had been canceled. 7 years, death threats, to an actor over a TV series. It's not holding a grudge, that's a life's work. And here's the paradox that sets Roger apart from every other character on this list. Despite everything, he truly cares about the Smith family. When the CIA cornered him, Roger was willing to let Stan kill him to prevent the family from being exposed. This man who kills for $20, enslaves foster children, and paints islands yellow risked his life for a family he was only known for a few years. Roger isn't a villain. Roger isn't a hero. Roger's what happens when a being with a life expectancy of 9,000 years decides that morality is a concept for beings who have less time. He has lived over 100 identities: psychologist, bounty hunter, surgeon, dictator, winemaker, bartender, mob boss, therapist, hitman, and once a nun. Each one of the most interesting person in the room. He lives in the attic because the attic's the only place from which he can see everything without anyone looking back. This is not a place to live. This is a personality disorder on a throne.
We gotta get the hell out of here.
Where are we gonna go?
Hi, you've reached the Smiths. Leave a message.
Just so you know, there's nowhere on Earth you guys can go where I can't find you. Nowhere.
You know exactly what he does and has done for $19. So hit the button or I'll pay $19. Langley Falls, America's most dangerous suburb. Tell me, which Roger persona has the strongest aura? See you guys soon, Grays, and a big kiss from Roger.